Hi everyone, Darleen here from Single Boss Lady. Welcome to week 3 of the root-based chakra. Now week 1 was connection, week 2 was creativity, and you remember I'm talking about 3 aspects in relation to this beautiful chakra. 1 is personal and 2 are business, because I do talk about the 9 chakras of business. Yet I still want to add in 1 personal one, because we still have, personal chakras. Now in the personal, it is about our psychological state and how stable it is. In the business, it's about our boundaries and our purpose. Now week 3 is about abundance. And I want you to think, first off, let's have a look at personal. Let's have a look at our psychological state. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, root-based chakra, psychological state? Yes. Most things start in the lower chakras. All of that is where a lot of our stuff start. If we can have all of that working as well as possible, like nothing's perfect, but we can do it as perfect as possible, then our psychological state is more likely to be stable. When our psychological state is more stable, we feel so much more abundant. Now, if we feel abundant personally, we're going to feel abundant in our business, and we're going to create things. We're going to, publish content more. We're just going to feel so much better and so much more abundant. And think about abundance. I would love for you to write down on a piece of paper your definition of abundance, and then everything that's abundant personally and everything that's abundant in relation to your business. Because the more you write these things down, the more you're actually able to look at them and go, yes, and the universe always takes notice as well. When we write something out, we're telling the universe, this is what we want, this is what we love, this is what we're grateful for. The more that you can show gratitude as well, the more stable your psychological state is. It's really important to really look at that. Now, I say this from a place of knowing, because I've living with depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And, my psychological state is a big thing for me. So I see a psychologist. I work with a beautiful coach who's all about the spiritual, helping me to unpack the spiritual stuff, whereas my psychologist helps in other ways. That helps me with my psychological state, which helps me with my abundance. I feel more abundant when my psychological state is stable, or more stable, and it's getting more and more stable. And that's what's really exciting, because I'm doing everything I can to be connected, to be creative, and to feel abundant. Now remember, money isn't abundance. Money is a result of abundance. The more abundant you feel, the more abundant you are, the more that the money will come in. It's a side effect. It's just one of those amazing things where it's a side effect. You feel good, you show more gratitude, you look after yourself first, and that is psychological state as well, and that's being abundant, is looking after yourself first. When you put yourself first, you are much more able to help others. You're much more able to help your clients, whether you've got products or services or both. More that your psychological state is stable, and the more abundant you feel, the more you're actually able to help others. It's one of those things that's just really all connects beautifully. And that's why I talk about connection first, then creativity, then abundance, and then next week we'll really go into the business side. Even though I'm going into business aspects, it really will go into depth in the business side. And again, psychological state, really have a look into it, tap into it, and even if necessarily, write down what you want your psychological state to be, how stable you want it to be, and what it actually means for you. What does a stable psychological state mean? The more we can define what things mean for us, and also adding in the values. What values do you want around your psychological state? Think about a value of honesty. If you're honest, how much more stable is your psychological state? Even just talking about it now, suddenly I can, something has really really happening in my body because I'm looking at the values around psychological state. Just, this is why I can't talk about this enough, because it's so amazing. Now that's personal, so psychological state, it starts in the root base chakra. Now traditionally, root base chakra is about stability, security, all of that beautiful stuff, all the basic needs that we have. Now that's traditional. When I go into doing the power chakras and that, which is the one or two chakras that you use when you're working on your business, then that's when you can find things might be different. Like I had a client where her her foundations was actually her crown chakra, and it makes sense because if you think about your body, this is your heart, this is your lower three chakras, this is your higher three chakras. Fold your body in half, root base, crown. See how it all just matches together. That's why it's so important to look at the lower three chakras and work really well with them. Work with them constantly. All of this is a constant thing, and the more that you do it, the easier and the quicker that it becomes. If I want to go into my body and do a body scan, I've just done it right now. Boom, like that, because I've worked with it so much. The more that we can do all of this, the quicker things become, the quicker we work through our beautiful stuff that comes up. Now, I don't go in to go, that's horrible. It's like, yeah, okay, so that's come up. What's going on? Now, it took me a long time to get to that place because I might have had thoughts come up and I might have really just cringed and gone, oh my goodness, I'm thinking that. Now it's like, okay, that thought has come there for a reason. Why? I might get upset for a few seconds, maybe a bit longer, yet as soon as I recognize it, things shift immediately. This is all psychological state. Now with our business, our boundaries is the first thing. The more that you really look after your boundaries and hold firm with them, yes, you can be flexible, it's part of it, and boundaries do change. But the more that you actually really hold strong, think of boundaries as a fence. You only want certain people to get through, so that's one boundary. Who are you going to work with? Now, if you're in a state of where, oh my goodness, I've got to get money in, I'm just going to work with anybody, that's not going to help your psychological state. See how it's all matching? Not going to help with your psychological state because you're working with anybody, and you're working with anybody, which means you're not working with the right clients. That will affect you, and then that will affect your business, and you'll go down that rabbit hole. I've got to get money in, I've got to work with anybody, all of that. Now, it can be tough when you look at who you really want to work with and you only work with them. You might only get a couple of clients a month or every couple of months. That can be tough, and that is when you really need to look at your psychological state and work on it so much more, because I won't say you will, but you could get to a point where, okay, I'm really getting stressed out again, I've just got to get anybody in. The more that you can hold firm to those boundaries of who you're going to work with, when you're going to work with them, when you'll respond to them, when they phone, text, however they contact you, all of that, when you're holding strong, you're actually going to attract the right clients because you're putting that energy out of, I'm respecting my boundaries, I'm respecting my business's boundaries, and those people that come to you are more likely to respect your boundaries and be the right client for you. This is why the boundaries are so important, and the more that you really look at your boundaries and work with your boundaries, the more abundant you're going to be, because you will attract those ideal clients. That's why I'm really, I really talk about boundaries and how important it is. The next thing is the purpose of your business. You might be thinking, but how's that abundant? The more that you understand the purpose of your business, why you're running a business, what the business means to you, what it means in broad terms, what it means to the universe, to the world, the more abundant you're going to be, because you're going to be so clear on your purpose. Even if you started your business in a not so good place, you might have gone, I'm in a really toxic environment, I'm just going to get out, so I'm just going to start a business. That's not kind of the best way to start. Yet the more that you look at your purpose in that, the more that you can actually clear that energy and bring in the new beautiful energy of, okay, this is my purpose for life. This is my purpose for business, and this is actually the business's purpose for the world. Now, you're not going to look after everybody, of course. What's going to happen is when you really look after yourself and your clients, those clients go into the world and they cause, ripple effects. And because you're looking after them and you're helping them, you're supporting them, they go out with that beautiful energy of, all of that, and then they cause a ripple effect, which then affects the people around them in a good way. And this is why the purpose of yourself on this earth, for me, I really believe that the purpose of us on earth, every single one of us, is to be here and just live in the moment. The more we live in the moment, the more abundant we're going to feel as well. Think about, and I really want you to think about the purpose of your business. Now let's recap all of that. So personal, it is your psychological state. The more that you can really work on your psychological state, the more abundant you're going to be. Write down a definition of what your psychological state, you want it to be, what it actually means for you when you're talking about stability. So the stability of your psychological state, write down a definition and write down all the values of that as well. In business, it is our boundaries and our purpose and the abundance that comes with that when we're strong with our boundaries and we're really clear on the purpose. Again, write down definitions of boundaries and purpose. Write down everything that you can and how you feel abundant when you do that. Writing all of this down, as I said before, lets the universe know this is who you are, this is what you want, and you will feel abundant and the universe will bring you more abundance. Now that is week 3 of the beautiful, beautiful root-based chakra, and next week, as I said, we'll be going into depth of the business. I'll be recapping all of this and really going into depth in the business around all of these stuff. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.